Okay. See, I don't think we have any visiting Rotarians today, but we do have one visitor. David, would you like to introduce your visitor?
Yes, I'd be delighted. My nephew, John Hunting. John is a Kitty Hawk guy, and my nephew.
Oh, you're nephew.
I first introduced him, and obviously, sorry if I missed a few. John works for the College of the Albemarle, the director of admissions and recruitment. Been in that position for a little while. Before that, Tim's come and talked to our club a few times, once or twice, I believe, about the program where they were bringing the college into the schools. The dual enrollment program. Thank you, John. John was a liaison before this new position was accepted as the director of admissions. He was a liaison between our county's high school and the college, making sure that children were transitioning as they should, being able to benefit from the college's resources in the schools.
Cool.
John.
Welcome.
Awesome.
All right, welcome, John.
We have another guest.
I'm pretty sure I emailed you.
Well, we have another guest.
Yeah, this is Amy up here on the screen in the lower left.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I can't be there, especially to meet the gentleman from the College of Albemarle. Education and developing out new talent is a passion of mine. So hopefully one of these days I can break away from this crazy long work hours and get in there and sit with you guys face to face.
So where is your office at, Amy?
So my office is wherever I'm at. So if you had internet there, I could be there. But because I travel, most of before pandemic, I traveled globally. Technically, the headquarters is in New York City. But it's more that it's back to back to back, and the comments and the discussions that I'm having are very sensitive in nature. So I can't have those in public environments. So sometimes in Kill Devil Hills at my friend's house, sometimes in Rodanthe, and hopefully I'll get back to travel and be in exotic places again, like Beijing and Shanghai and Tokyo and all those other fun places.
And Rodanthe, come on.
Yeah, I'm probably could throw a stone to where you guys are at right now, but unfortunately, the conversation I just got off of and the one that I'm going to get on in a minute is not something that can be shared with external folks. So I can bend markets, they tell me. So
Woo. Sounds like the Matrix. Thanks, Amy.
Yes, thank you, Amy.
Amy works for Pfizer.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Ask her if she moves Outer Banks Airlines yet.
maybe I should not tell people that. I always worry with the current environment. Whether I should tell people
Yeah, it's too late.
or
It's too
not
late.
where I work. So, but no, I'm very proud. I'm a proud PFE colleague.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Well, welcome, Amy. And working for Pfizer is okay. Let's see, Stan, do we want to do a Rotary minute?
Let's do a quick one. An announcement that I want to make, if I can find it here. All of you,
Yes. We're talking about Pfizer.
it's too late. The conversation is over. All of you, except for John, received a notice of a webinar that's happening tomorrow. It's called Empowering Girls. It's a series of webinars, probably over the next 6 weeks. I think there's just 3 of them. But I got interested because Amy asked me how she could register, because I forwarded it to prospective Rotarians because I wanted them to participate. And she is going to participate if she has time between her calls and work and everything. So I will send that announcement out again when I get back to the house. It should be a very engaging seminar because it's one of the main things that Rotary wants to do is promoting education, and especially in areas where it is held back. And with young girls around the world, education is one of those things that doesn't reach all the corners of the world. So Rotary is really big in trying to educate young girls around the world in areas where it is desperately lacking. And there is just some awesome stories of people that have already done some great things. So I'll remember to send that out because I wrote it down, which is one of the things I have to do. Not because I'm old, I always had to do that. Because my wife isn't always with me. So that's my Rotary Minute. So please join us. It should be very interesting. And it's a webinar, so you can listen to it on your phone. You don't have to be live. It is, I'm not even sure it's a Zoom, but it's a broadcast webinar on the internet.
What is it, 3 o'clock?
I think it's at 11 to 12.
Okay.
So,
That's a good
watch it
time.
over lunch, have an early lunch, small breakfast. You guys can do it.
Excellent. Excellent. Are there any other announcements? Anybody else have anything? Okay, with that, we'll go to Happy Dollars. Your announcements, you pay for it.
All right. Well, I hadn't started it in a week, but I was happy. My truck started right up, the old truck that is, this morning. And I do like cold weather, but I was really happy to see that it wasn't quite 20 degrees when I walked out to come here this morning. And Amy, my wife, says I can bend things too. She says if she could swing a metal pipe hard enough and hit my hard head, she's pretty sure it would bend.
She's probably right. Just $1. I kind of forced Patsy in when we bought the Tesla at Thanksgiving time, but now it's her daily driver. I get it once in a while. And we haven't driven our other car in 3 weeks. So I don't think we're going to sell it, but I need to start it every once in a while now. It's so noisy and it's so sluggish compared to the Tesla.
You get Jay to come over and help you
Yeah.
with that.
Well, I'll start mine, and then after you run mine,
Yeah.
yours will sound quiet.
Yeah. Yes, I need a new comparison.
I took you up on last week's offer that I brought in Tesla. That would be fun.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Oh, congrats.
And tell them where you're getting ready to go and celebrate. Wednesday weekend in New York.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
I'm actually happy right now. I might not be happy this time tomorrow, but tonight's sprints up the hill of the monument tonight. So I'm excited to go. It's supposed to be like 47 degrees instead of 25 like last night. And I'm excited about it at this moment. Don't ask me why. I might not be able to walk.
All right.
Okay, thank you for all the happy people. Dick, our Sergeant at Arms, is not here today, but I saw an email. He's doing pretty good. So, we might be getting a little bored, so if you get a chance, reach out to him, shoot him an email or something, say hello. Okay, our program today is hosted by Barbara. And how are we going to do the introduction? Okay.
So Barbara became a Rotarian, put you on the spot here for a little bit, Barb. She told me, she says, I don't like to speak in front of people. She says, so you're responsible for helping me find speakers. So the SPCA has always been something near and dear to Barbara's heart. She's always had a love for animals. She's always first one to turn the channels when the SPCA commercials come on, because she just can't stand to see it. So the commercials work. They certainly pull at heartstrings. So when the SPCA, and I'm sure Bill will tell us about this, they opened up their new facility, Barbara's like, we really need to find out what this is all about. Let's find a little bit more about what the SPCA is doing in our community. So a couple months ago, I reached out, and I think you guys are probably in a transition for management there. So But glad reached out to Bill and the board of directors, and he agreed to come and speak today about what the SBCA does in our community, as well as probably a little bit about the new facility. I hear it's state of the art. So yeah, looking forward to hear about that. But Barbara's asked to have the SPCA speak, and now welcome Bill Coleman, Executive Director of the OBX SPCA. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, now that you've set me up, I understand that I started last week, okay? So I've been there, I don't know, 8 days, I guess. Well, not that's counting today. But I'm not new to the community. I've probably spoken at this with your club before. I used to run the Lost Colony. I was there for about 8 years as the executive director. Well, COVID shut that down. So I decided I would try something else. And I went from here to the other end of the state and was the executive director of Foothills Humane Society, which is in Columbus, North Carolina. It's kind of on the border of South Carolina. It's about 35 miles south of Asheville and about 35 miles north of Greenville, South Carolina, if that tells you where it is. But my wife has lived here forever, and well, at least 30 years. And so she came begrudgingly out west. And well, we talked about retiring in the mountains or something. And then this opportunity came up. And so it was an opportunity to come back home. We still have our house in Exit. So I'm excited to be back. It's so rewarding, I have to say, to work with animals. It's very rewarding. And it can be very heartbreaking as well, as you probably know. But I just try to focus on the good stuff that happens. And so I went to receive some money from the Eagles, the ladies of the Eagles, I don't know, Eagles, fraternal order of Eagles. And I was going to bring a dog with me, a dog named Frosty. And the dog was named Frosty because it was Christmas time. And so they were naming animals as they came in. We probably had Rudolph, and we had all kinds of holiday names. But Frosty was so sweet, and he has a sad story. He's kind of a big dog, but so very nice. Frosty was a dog that was 12 years old. And when whoever owned Frosty, it wasn't in this county, we got him from another county, decided he was too old and turned him in. Don't tell my wife that story, please. But it just, it was heartbreaking, and he was such a sweet dog. And on Friday, this older man came in. His wife's in a wheelchair. He lives out here on the beach somewhere, and he took Frosty home.
Oh.
And it's such a perfect match. He didn't really necessarily want a dog that big. People always go, "Oh, give me a small dog." That's kind of the number one thing people want. But Frosty went home, so. It just touches my heart when that happens, when you have a good match like that. And it happens often. I remember when I was at Foothills, one of the early days I was there, I was out on a Saturday kind of working in the yard, and we had an outdoor area where you could walk a dog around. It's kind of all fenced around. And this family came in. So it was the mom and the dad and two boys that were kind of young, and they were getting a dog. And it just reminded me, most of us anyway have had that dog when we were a kid, and how important it is, how much that is with you for the rest of your life. And so, well, that's kind of what we do. As you probably know, the Outer Banks SPCA started in 1978 and was over in a facility that was near the jail for a lot of years. Well, the county was kind enough and generous enough to build a new facility. So the Outer Banks SPCA moved into that facility in March of 2021. So we hadn't even been in there a year, but it's fantastic. It's just it's got great accommodations for the animals. It's got great places to go and see the animals if you're interested in adopting, or if you just want to come in and play with them, that's fine too. But we have a couple of rooms that have kennels in them, and you can walk around on each side. They're just were designed that so that in the morning you could move the dog to the other side and clean that side, hose it down, and then clean the other side. So they split up. There's a door that goes down the middle. They're actually known as guillotine doors, which It's probably not a good name to have, but that's how they work. You pull a thing, it comes up and it goes down. And then we have a cat room or cats that's right up front that they can all just run around and play in, and people go inside and they can see the cats, see the kittens. And then there are other cages and things that the cats are in as well. So we have about, I guess, 30 plus dog kennels. And right now we're mostly full. And cats, we can accommodate a lot of them, probably 80 or something. And I think we have probably 60 in there right now. And you know, if you're familiar with it at all, when we get to the spring, it's kitten season, as it's called. And there are kittens everywhere. And we take them in and try to get them adopted out. But one of the missions of the organization is to educate people and help them understand why that happens. These animals reproduce. Why does that happen? So part of what we do, though, is we offer education. We offer vouchers so that people can get their animals spayed or neutered, because that's just critical. And animals that we adopt out will be spayed and neutered. Now, sometimes they'll go out if they're local, and we'll get them back in for their appointment if somebody's already ready to take one home, as long as they're committed to bringing it back for the appointment, so we can take it to be spayed and neutered at one of the local vets. So how does that work? Well, we don't officially adopt it at that point. They become a foster, and they'll take them until the animal is spayed and neutered, and then at that point, the adoption would become official. So, you know, we have a lot of them going in and out. We have folks that come from out of town that will adopt animals, and that's great. They come here, and I've heard stories already about families that have come in here and say, oh, you know, one of our favorite things to do when we come to the Outer Banks for our week is we'll spend a day over there at your all's place. We'll walk the dogs, we'll play with the kittens, and all the things that people do. So it's wonderful in that regard. One of the features of the building that you all can take advantage of, if you have an animal, we have a dog, I should say that. We have a dog wash place. So you come into the lobby, and there are 3 places you can wash the dog, and it's those stainless steel baths, and they open on the side and actually have steps so you can walk them up in it, close them up. We got shampoo, we got all the things you need so that you can wash your dog. You know, we just ask you to make a donation, and people do, $5, whatever, $10, it doesn't matter. But it's something that the community can take advantage of. And sorry, I did make a few notes. Well, the other thing is that you can volunteer with us. So we have a volunteer program, and again, we're kind of restructuring, not restructuring, but I'm hiring somebody to run the volunteers and the social media and some of that, those jobs. But we have a good core of volunteer. We have one gentleman that comes in pretty much every day and pretty much walks every dog. And it's a great thing. You know, there's a lot of places around the building that you can walk. I mean, we're over there by the airport. We're across the street from the aquarium. And there's a big dog park as well. Now, we don't put our dogs out there. That's just for the public that come in. And so people come in and walk the dogs. People come in and go in the cat rooms and play with the cats. People come in and help us do laundry. There's a lot of things that people will come in and do as a volunteer. And it's maybe they come in once a month, maybe they come in every day. So we have a lot of different opportunities for people to do that. And then I'm gonna take some questions, but if I don't know, I'm gonna make it up. So, but I do ask though that you follow us on social media, on Instagram or Facebook. That's a great way to see the dogs or the cats that we have that are available. It's a great way just to see when they get adopted, when they go out. And if you were to lose a dog or, you know, whatever, you go there too, because it gets turned into us. That's where we're going to post it. This is a stray that's come in. And we're going to hold strays for about a week before they officially become ours and we begin the adoption process. Because we'd love to, more than anything, is to reunite these animals. I mean, every stray had a home at some time. I mean, I have a stray that we adopted when we were down at Foothills. His name was Mikey, and kind of a beagle, and he's 7 years old, maybe 8 by now. And you always wonder, what did he do? Where was he the first 6 years of his life? You know, we found him and he had mange and he was wandering, and you know, how did you get here? But then we have another dog that we bought, and Mikey's got the street smarts though. Mikey knows, he's been there, so it's kind of funny. But anyways, I'd ask for you to follow us on those things. We have just a beautiful facility, and I'll invite you to come out and take a tour. I'll be happy to personally walk you through it. It's a wonderful facility. It's great that we have it here in Dare County. You should all be proud of it. By all means, I've seen a lot of other facilities, and this is just top notch. And it's especially because it was recently built, for that matter, that we have really all the things that we need to successfully take care of the dogs and cats that come from this community. So at this point, I'll just see what questions you may have. Yes.
This is not a question, huh? It's a good story for your use.
Oh, good.
Before we moved here full time, I had a vacation home, and my wife would come down. I'm gonna make this short. And she'd come over to your facility and she'd walk dogs. So I came down one weekend and she said, "There's this dog over there. It's just so sad. It's old, it's sick. Nobody's going to adopt it. What are we going to do?"
What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
Dog ends up in the backseat of my car, and we take her 300 miles away.
Oh, wow.
And she brought so much pleasure to us. She was 10 years old when we adopted her. She'd been bred, she was purebred, and when I guess she couldn't breed anymore, they turned her in, and she was sick.
Right.
So thousands of dollars later, she is well. But the funny part is, and we got to know a lot of people before you, and they knew the dog, had the picture of her up and all that. And we walked in there one day to look, and one of your volunteers is saying, "Now you see this dog here? It's an old dog, and it was sick." And this elderly couple shows up and takes the dog home. She passed away July 21st last year.
Oh.
She was 14, and it was awful.
Yeah.
And I will not allow my wife to come over.
Yeah, another dog we have is named Journey. I would love to take Journey home and at least foster her. But Journey is deaf. We occasionally get deaf dogs, and it's very interesting. And there's actually sign language for dogs, you know, about how to say to eat, you know, whatever you may do. And he is so sweet, but he doesn't like cats, and I got a cat. So.
How old is he?
Maybe 5 or 6. I don't know.
Journey's one of my favorite bands, so I love the name. Do you still
I
have?
have to tell this too.
One up here?
You need Journey.
Here's all that spare time.
My wife is on Facebook all the time, so she had a picture of the dog up one day. The dog was a central part of our life, as you may have figured out. And she gets a note and said, "I am so pleased you adopted my dog. I couldn't take care of the dog." And she came to me and she said, "Is this a quack? Is this somebody looking for money? What is going on?" So I said, "I don't know. Send a note back and say, when was she born? Do you have pictures of her as a puppy?" All that kind of stuff. And so she did. So we knew her birthday. And she now is a teacher. She came from a pretty tough background, but she's got her degree. She's teaching. We actually met her about a month ago because she was looking for books for her class. And we took a carload of books over and gave her.
That's nice.
So we know the whole story of her.
Right, great. Well, you bring up a point that I want to mention as well, is we do spend a lot of money on medical for the animals when we know we need to. If they come in, maybe they've been hit by a car. For some reason, we've had several that have been shot that we've had to bring in, and we'll take care of the vet. We want the animal to be healthy. And and some are just, they have diseases or they get sick or whatever. And so that's part of our mission as well, is we'll spend money on them. I mean, we're not officially a no-kill shelter. It's all based on a percentage, and but we aspire to be. I mean, we're not ever going to euthanize an animal for space. That's not going to happen. I mean, sometimes it happens just because you get maybe a dog you can't adopt out because he's just too aggressive, and sometimes you just get an animal that's too sick. So, I mean, we do the things that are humane in regards to the animals, but ultimately, we will be a no-kill shelter.
Do you still have that program where you can come over and take the dog home for the day or a couple of
Yes.
days or so?
Well,
I've done
it's
that a couple of
just
times.
foster
Yeah.
an animal. You can take one home for a month. And it's more important that,
Journey.
well, so we had a dog that came in, I don't know, it was late, well, it had to be in the last week and a half anyway. I was there. So the dog came in and it was very pregnant. And so we took it to the vet and they x-rayed it. It was just 2 puppies. That was the good news. And anyways, we put the call out on social media and we had 2 or 3 people inquire about it. Somebody took that dog home so the dog can be in a home to have those puppies.
Oh.
And then, then we'll take them back and adopt it. Or, chances are they'll fall in love with one of those puppies, maybe both. But yes, foster it's kind of a thing of volunteering. And I think the other thing that happens, I know, the other thing that happens is in the spring when it is kitten season, we're looking for people who will take kittens, because kittens just have to get to a certain age before we can adopt them out, or for we can spay and neuter them. And, it's a great, we find people who have a spare bathroom and they put the mom in there, they have the kittens in there and they stay in there, and then where they are, it's all good. So that's another thing that we request as well. Yes.
First of all, I'm a victim of the foster kitten fail.
Yes.
So you make us name them and then they become ours. So Tila Rose and Gentleman Jack still have their home at my house. 'Cause I was like, I'm not naming all this name of liquor. But they are still mine. But what is the criteria for being a volunteer dog walker?
Volunteer dog walker? Well,
Hang out or volunteer to come.
yeah, I mean, we have an application and, we get some people that our dogs are kind of rated. They'll have a little sticker. It's red, green, yellow, or red. And a red dog is a dog that maybe somebody who's walked with us a long time could handle that. Yellow dog, staff is gonna screen you a little bit more, but the green dogs are easy to walk and we can get somebody started in that regard. We're kind of rebuilding our volunteer program and I want to have a little more training and steps in regard. So I'm telling you this now, but it's going to get a little more structured in the future.
I lost my best friend in September of last year. So I'm not ready. I'm not going to be a foster fail by any stretch, but I would love to be able to go. I miss those. I'm turning into a runaholic because I literally don't have my dog to go take for a walk. So
Right.
You need a Greyhound.
Yeah, she used the term, maybe not everybody's familiar with, but so when you foster, the term is you can become a foster failure or a foster fail, which means that you adopted the animal and you failed to give it back. You didn't really fail, but
Isn't that the clandestine operative of the point of having foster care? I mean, kind of.
yeah.
Hey, Bill,
just
can I
can't see
tell
the
them about
puppies.
Monday?
Sure.
You guys all know that Betty White, would have been 100 years old on the 17th. So on Monday, the 17th, the company that I work for, we're not supposed to say the name, we're going to be hosting an event along with the SPCA at RD KDH 10 at 4 p.m. for the showing of the Betty White movie. And because she loved animals so much, we're going to have a setup, and we're asking nationwide, they're actually asking us that everybody donate $5 for the SPCA. So Bill and I partnered up along with our company and the theater to have something there in the lobby, probably between 3 and 4. and then go in, enjoy the movie and have some popcorn. So all the proceeds will go to the SPCA.
What was the date of this?
It's Monday,
Yeah.
the 17th. We'll be there for the 4 p.m. showing. We'll get there at 3, but they have a showing at 1, 4, and 7. And they're doing this nationwide at movie theaters and then trying to collect money just in her honor. And they're asking that everybody donate 5. If you can't make it, I'll be more than happy to take up the money and give that to Bill on Monday. So I just want to put that out there because we're very
Thank you.
grateful to have this partnership.
Does anybody not know where Laurie lives? Come on.
It's okay.
She's so
I
quiet.
can't
Yeah,
say
I know. She's very shy.
it.
Yeah.
So for the strays that are brought in, does the facility possess the capability for scanning for microchips?
Yes.
Will you guys do that?
Yeah, we have a scanner and then our animal control. Now, so the animal, which to me is different than where I was. The animal control where I was were sheriff's department. Here, they're our employees. But animal control picks something up. That first thing they do will be to scan them. And then, when we bring them in, we're gonna give them a vaccine. We're gonna make sure that they have a rabies shot. There's a lot of things we'll do before the animal goes in the general population or even goes among people. So we need to be safe in that regard.
So the animal control is your employee?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, now, let me say this, for Dare County, there is animal control people in Kill Devil Hills. They have their own little animal control. They have 2 people who used to work at the SPCA. And they have a little facility over there that can hold animals. But they won't hold them for more than 72 hours. And then they'll take them to us. I didn't mention too, we I don't know, I'm really unhappy about it, but we have a couple turtles. And we've had rats, we've had gerbils, whatever. We'll take most any animals. Some of the birds will go to the wildlife folks. But
Don't give me.
people want-
You need to get her contact information.
No,
She takes straight pigeons.
Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie's still. flying
No,
around.
Charlie got taken by a hawk. Oh, my
Oh,
dad.
I am so
Yeah.
sorry. We had fun. And, I think I brought
Charlie
my
was the
granddaughter over
bomb.
there. I know I did. I brought my granddaughter over there to meet Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
That was a highlight for us.
He was.
I still have pigeons come to my roof I have pigeons on the roof every day. They still
Oh,
come,
wow.
he used to bring them over for lunch
Right.
and then go back to.
He
the
would
theater.
bring his girlfriend.
Well, any other questions? I appreciate the opportunity to
Great
be
job.
here. Thank you for listening to me. And again, please come by. I'd love to give you a tour. Come by and volunteer. Come by and get an animal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
After a week and
Thank you, Bill. Excellent program. And I'm going to thank Amy for visiting with us. She's gone.
Yeah, she had
Thank
a
you,
call.
John, for visiting with us. And now it's time to announce the 50-50 winner.
Well, since we have an amazing guest speaker today, we're gonna let you do the drawings for this, okay? So you can't see the number, so it's okay. The very first one is gonna be for the 50-50. Let's set that one to the side.
Put it
All
in
right,
here.
yeah, set that one to the
Yeah,
side.
away from yours.
Yeah, away from yours.
It's only 4 numbers off.
And then draw 3 more, and then I'm gonna give away 3 additional prizes.
From where?
Oh,
Some
from all
company that you
over.
don't work at?
Yeah, some company that I don't work at,
One of them's an opportunity to foster.
yes.
Yeah.
You wanna win
Yeah,
free
it's a-
fostering on one of
Three
these.
kids.
That was a good one.
Bonus one is a kid.
All right, so the very first one that you drew out, if you don't mind calling out that number.
Oh, is that me? Sorry. Oh, calling out. It's just really the last 2 digits.
Last
Uh-huh,
3.
Last three.
Last 3, 285.
Right here.
No, not you.
Hey, I haven't won an
He
8.
always wins.
He does.
And one since last week.
Would you like to cut the deck?
No.
All right, I never do either.
So you don't win it, you just get to.
We're living in. If you draw the ace of spades,
You win.
you win, and if not, it carries over to the next week.
I
So we
gotcha.
carry over. We've got over we had $84 today, guys.
So we're about 350, 360.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then
Yeah, my
if you
number
don't mind, if
281.
you will call out those numbers real quick.
Okay, 230.
Bless you, honey.
I'm sorry, I should go my glasses.
That's okay.
255 188.
Ooh,
Okay, now I have.
okay.
230 255 188. That's
That's all yours. And who was the other one over here? Look at you, go girl. Okay, hold on.
Turns also.
Yeah, one of our newest members.
She won last week too.
All right. And the next number? Oh, here. What do you got? There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got some booty bucks.
That's correct.
Monday. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
just a quick mention, next week, Doug Brandon has the meeting.
I'll put that in an envelope.
So we don't know who the speaker is yet, but not on the list anyway. Doug will be getting the speaker next meeting. Yeah, and there'll be a board directors meeting at 12 next week. Now let's recite the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do.
Is it the truth?
Fair
Is on
law,
concern. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will be beneficial to all concerned.
And let's adjourn with our motto.
Service above self.
Thank you so much.
John.
My number was only 4 off of the winner.
Only
It
4 hours.
works that way.
Well,
It
I'll put
works
this
that
in
way.
an envelope. That's, yeah, that's all garbage. And don't forget, y'all come to the movie 4 p.m. Come around 3 on Monday the 17th.
That's right, we'll be closing for 3 weeks.